close. Also, when I arrived in the ML factory, he lived already to live in Vegas.
Okay.
So there 3 years ago. So that's why we are not really close. And I met him when he coming back for a camp for EuroAion, another fight. So yes, we did some sparring together, but he is really more close than with Fernando Lopez than me.
Okay.
That's for sure. Yeah.
So would you say you were never close? You were never friends? This idea that you were friends and all that, you just kind of trained together, sparred together, but you were never like buddies.
Exactly.
You didn't go out to eat together, hang out, things like that.
No, never. No, never. Never. He's not this kind of guy.
How many times do you think you sparred against him?
How many times? Maybe 10 times, no more.
Okay. Do you think, I don't know the answer to this, do you think you were part of the reason why he left the team?
Easy teleport, Deva?
I know.
EuroAion.
Can you repeat the question? I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you think you were part of the reason why he left the team?
No.
Okay.
No. He lived already when I arrived in the factory.
Okay.
So no.
This fight, though, and I guess his relationship with Fernand Lopez, who has talked to even our site, MMAfighting.com, about, he didn't love the fact that Francis, this is what Fernand said, didn't give credit to the coaches and the people who brought him up. If you fight him, is this a personal fight for you? Like, do you feel like you need to beat him for Fernand? Do you feel like you need to do it for your coach?
No. No. That's a little bit funny because when I sing it with the UFC, every media asks me, you and Francis and Danny, that's not my deal. That's really not my deal. I just want to do my thing. And I think I'm a great athlete, and I do well, and I want to do very well tomorrow when I'm going to fight against Francis. I just want to do that with the good feeling. I'm not this kind of guy. I'm not jealous. I don't have a bad feeling in myself. And when you see me, you know. And then tomorrow, I'm going to fight Francis. I'm going to fight like I fought against Volkov or Jairzinho. Every guy, Derek Lewis. That's another opponent. That's it for me.
If it was up to you, when would this fight happen? What month?
Can you repeat?
If it was up to you, if the UFC said, all right, so Francis is ready, but we want to know, you just fought, what would be best for you?
Since 1.5 years, I did a lot for the UFC, and for me, I fought a lot. I did a lot of camp, and I just want to rest a little bit with my second daughter. It's not easy to manage.
Of course.
That's really not easy. I can feel it. This was my first night yesterday, and I forgot what is it.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm gonna manage this. I'm gonna do some little bit rest, and maybe this kind of this kind of 21.
Okay, so December you said? Is that what you said?
Yeah, December, maybe January.
Okay,
February,
gotcha.
Yeah, around this.
Have they told you that you are definitely fighting him next, or do you think there's a chance they might try to do Francis versus Jones and then the winner fights you?
Oh, I think everything is possible.
Okay.
Everything is possible with the UFC. I don't know exactly what the UFC wants, but I think I'm more legit for that.
Mm-hmm.
Now you need to have the unification. I think this is make more sense. But everything is possible. I don't know.
But if it was up to you, the next fight for you would be Francis, right? You fight Francis.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. For me, the next step, of course.
That has to happen in France, right?
If it's possible, hopefully. But I don't know if it's possible. Yeah, I don't know exactly because it's a little bit complicated. I don't know exactly because I know when you have a big fight like that with the big belt, the prime time is Vegas. So I don't know exactly what the UFC want to do. It's going to be complicated to manage this in Paris maybe because probably we're going to fight at 6-7 a.m. But everything is possible. He did it already with Abu Dhabi.
Yep.
But it was a little bit special. I don't know. Seriously, I don't know exactly what I mean.
You were much younger the last time you sparred him, younger in your career. Still, do you feel like the idea of fighting Francis? You feel confident against him?
Yes, I'm confident with every guy. I proved it today. I did really great. But I just started the MMA. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that because I got this fight IQ. I can understand what I'm aware. Not because I'm just a good athlete. Not because I got a good skills. No, I did it because I got a good fight IQ. So tomorrow, and when I started because before the MMA, so now that 3 years ago, but before that I did 3 years in Muay Thai, and it was my first experience in the armor show. And when I started, I was really young, no more experience, and I did very well because I got already this fight IQ.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why today I think everything is possible against Francis. I think it's going to be my big matchup.
Yeah, of course.
My harder matchup. Yeah. But I think everything is possible. I'm confident.
Honestly, though, if someone would have told you 3 years ago when you started in Montreal, by the way, my hometown, je viens de Montréal.
Yeah.
Vous savez?
Oh, je savais pas.
Ah oui, je viens de Montréal, Québec.
Okay.
J'aime bien que vous a commencé votre carrière en les arts mixtes martiaux à Québec. Vous aimez Montréal?
J'adore.
Moi aussi.
I love it. I love Montreal. Yeah.
If I would have told you though 3 years ago in Montreal, by the way, Cyril, I looked into the crystal ball. 3 years from now, you're going to be UFC champion. You're going to be on top of the sport. You're going to be, this close to a super fight again. Would you have believed me, or did you think it would take a little longer? 3 years.
A little bit longer.
Okay.
A little bit longer. Yeah, of course, a little bit longer. Of course, we didn't expect that. No, it's impossible. UFC is it's a big promotion. You have a really high level. When you say the name, Derrick Lewis, Volkov, Jairzinho, Junior Dos Santos, my man, that 3 years ago. if you tell me that, no, it's like, no. Let me do my thing a little bit more here. But we did it. So that's why I'm confident today against Francis. Everything is possible.
Right. Derrick Lewis is from Houston. He represents Houston very well. I think that you like Houston rap more than Derrick Lewis does. That T-shirt, that's a Houston.
Yeah.
What is going on here? Are you just trolling Derrick Lewis? What's happening?
No.
Oh, you're just like sticking it to him one last time.
No, this is not a disrespect. No, really.
No.
Because I got my shoes, and this is much good with my shoes. So that's it. Huh?
Respect.
It. Yeah.
You came out to the song.
Houston.
Everyone was excited, and you're like, "Oh man, this guy."
Houston. In Houston, you have a big. This is a big city of the rap music. This is a really big city. You have a lot of artists, and when I was young, I listened a lot of songs in the rap music, and that's why I have this a little bit. This is a little culture of that.
I love it. I love that we're learning more about you. Your basketball skills, your love of hip hop. You're a very interesting guy. By the way, I love French basketball. Evan Fournier, he's my guy. You know Evan Fournier?
Oh yeah,
that's my guy. He's on the Knicks now. They made it to the gold medal game against the U.S. It's a big time for French sport. You got Leo Messi coming to Paris. It's exciting times.
Yeah, this is exactly. I like to say that this is a little country, huh?
Yeah.
France, the French country. This is a little country, but in the sport, seriously, we have a lot of stuff.
So
in the MMA, in the armor martial, in the K1, in the kickboxing with Jérôme Le Banner. This is a former champion, but we have a new champion. In the football too, Thierry Henry. In my country, seriously, this is a little country, but in France, you have a lot of talents in the sport.
But let me tell you something, Cyril. There is only one French prince, and it is you, my friend. Okay, you stand above the rest. The French prince.
Okay, I'm gonna do a t-shirt for you.
Yes, let's go. The French prince. I love it. My friend, congratulations, félicitations on the baby. Number 2 on the belt.
Merci beaucoup.
You versus Francis. You versus anyone right now. I'll watch you versus anyone. It's a pleasure to watch you fight and to see you grow.
Yeah.
And it all started in Montreal, so I love that as well. Thank you for doing this.
Anyone, anywhere, like it.
Let's go. Let's go.
Thank you, man.
I know it's a very busy time for you, so I appreciate you coming on. Thank you so much.
No, with pleasure, man. Pleasure.
All right. All the best.
Thank you for your invitation.
Absolutely. There he is.
Bye-bye.
The French Prince, Cyril Gane, the new interim champ, joining us, the IC champ. Whoop, kind enough to join us on the show. And so it's going to be interesting to see what the UFC does there. Do they go in the direction of, they could do no wrong at this point. Do you try to do the Jones fight and then, he wants a little bit of time off? Do you try to do, say, Jones and Ngannou? Can you figure that out for December and then he fights the winner? Like I wrote on my Substack, there's a precedent there. Remember, Robert Whittaker fought Yoel Romero 2017. They didn't do the unification bout with Michael Bisping. They did Bisping versus GSP, who we'll be talking to in about 30 minutes. They did that fight. And so Whittaker wasn't stripped. It got a little weird afterwards because GSP won, but he had to vacate, colitis. So they did that, and the interim champ stayed the interim champ. So there's a precedent there. Of course, there's a precedent for anything in the UFC because there's no real rules. They can do whatever they want. It's their promotion. There's no sanctioning body or anything like that. And so it's going to be interesting. Or do you just go to the route of that fight? And that's a big-time fight in its own right. That is a big-time fight. It would be amazing if it could happen in France. Usually a pay-per-view in Europe isn't great. They did it with Michael Bisping in Manchester. What was it, back in 2016? Dan Henderson, the rematch. They did that, of course, to have the homecoming fight for the new champ, Michael Bisping. So it has been done, and it was successful. It was in the middle of the night. It was like 4 a.m. I didn't go to that one because my daughter was actually about to be born, my sweet Claire, so we didn't go to that one. But it's been done. Or do they do it in Las Vegas and just get all the buzz and all that stuff? We shall see. But nevertheless, he is a big-time name, a big-time talent, and to do what he has done in 3 years is nothing short of amazing. To beat the guys that he has defeated in 3 years is really nothing short of amazing. So, thank you very much to him. Great first hour in the books. A little later on in the program, we're going to be joined by Mr. Gamebred, the pride of Westchester, Miami, Florida. One of the faces of American Top Team, one of the leaders of the great American Top Team gym in Coconut Creek, Florida. We're also going to be joined by the one and only George Rush St. Pierre, the pride of St. Isidore, Quebec, Canada, of course, has fought many a time in Montreal and currently lives there as well. But in a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by the face of the PFL and also a member of the aforementioned American Top Team gym, someone who fights tomorrow. So like I said at the top of the show, this is fun. Monday only show, you're not getting fights typically on a Tuesday other than Contender Series. But now, Wednesday show, you're getting fights on a Thursday. And we can talk to people right before they fight. How fun is that? That's different. That's fun. That's unique. That gets me excited in the morning when I wake up. PFL on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Don't always know. Is it ESPN? Is it ESPN Plus? It's one or the other. It's ESPN Plus and ESPN. Beginning at 9 p.m. We've got the women's lightweight semifinal and the men's heavyweight semifinal. Those are the two divisions in focus, if you will. And the main event features Jenna Fabian, who is a very tall young woman, 4-1 as a professional. Do I have her 5'9"? Looks like she's 6'3" in the stare down, going up against Kayla Harrison, who is okay. There's no way. I mean, was she wearing high heels? What was going on over there? Why 5'8", 5'9" against 5'8"? That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, do we have Kayla? Are we still framing her up? Okay, still working on that. Thank you very much, Frank. Anyway, in a matter of seconds, we're going to be joined by Kayla Harrison, who has an unbelievable skill set, unbelievable background. Of course, two-time Olympic gold medalist, 10-0 now as a professional, has done amazing things in a very short amount of time. But let's be honest, the talent pool at 155 pounds isn't the deepest. I mean, heck, it's damn near non-existent. 145 isn't the deepest, and she has dabbled in the featherweight waters as well. That was in Invicta when PFL took their 1-year hiatus. But the big story here is she's got 2 fights left on her PFL contract, the semifinal and the final, and then she's a free agent. And I would venture to say, given her background, given her skill set, given her resume, given how good and dominant she is, and given the fact that there aren't a ton of women in her weight class, 145, 155, all that, who are anywhere near as good as she is, and who could, by the way, cut a promo as good as she can, I would say she is going to be one of the most sought-after free agents that we have seen in quite some time. And so without further ado, let us go to the Zoom machine once again and say hello to the aforementioned Kayla Harrison, who is kind enough to join us following the weigh-ins. There she is. Kayla, how are you?
Oh, good. How are you, Ariel?
Oh, it's so great to talk to you, Kayla, again. It's always an honor. It's always a pleasure. You just weighed in this morning, correct?
I did, yeah.
What's so funny? Why are you laughing?
You're just so hospitable.
Well, I am very... it says our meeting is going to end in 10 minutes. That's not a good thing. Is that really going to happen, guys? I hope not. We've got Kayla Harrison here, the 2-time...
I don't know.
What?
We're having some technical...
Was that for me?
Is that
I don't know. We're about to find out. If not, we'll reconnect.
Okay.
Okay, and I know you've got a ton of interviews today. First, can I just say this, Kayla? I want to say something to you, and I want to say something to the public as well. This, as I drop my pencil here, this is very important for me to say. You are a member not only of PFL, but you are represented by Dominance MMA, correct?
Correct.
And I used to have a tremendous relationship with the leader of Dominance MMA, Ali Abdelaziz, the well-known manager. Had a very good relationship with him for many, many years when he was managing guys working WSOF, et cetera, et cetera. In 2000 and I do believe 19, for whatever reason, I have my theories, that relationship disintegrated to the point where he told all the fighters at Dominance MMA to not speak to me anymore. They are not allowed to speak to me. Now, they speak to me privately, but they can't come on my show for whatever reason. I think they're losing out more than I am, but the fact remains I would love to have them on. He has said, you cannot talk to our fighters. I'm going to ban you from talking to our fighters. There's one fighter on that roster of maybe 70 fighters now, one fighter who, pardon me for saying, has the balls to say, I am the actual client here. I am the one paying my management team. I do whatever I want. I'm a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, for God's sakes. I'm an undefeated MMA fighter. Put me on this camera right over here. I am the freaking woman. I tell you what to do. There's only one on that entire roster of legends who tells them what to do and who comes on my show and talks to me. And that's why I don't care if I'm a journalist or not, Kayla. I don't care if I'm supposed to be unbiased. I'm a fan for life because I respect you so much for doing what you're doing, for having a spine, and for sticking up for yourself, and honestly for sticking up for me. So I just want to say thank you. It means a lot to me whenever you come on the show.
Oh, well, I'm glad you got that off your chest.
I wanted to get that off my chest for 2 years now, Kayla. But unfortunately, at my other job, I could not do that. I couldn't break the fourth wall like I can now. And for you to say, because let's be honest, it has been said to you not to come on my show, and you have said, no, I call the shots here. I do whatever I want. I can't tell you how much that means to me. I can't tell you. Honestly, I am forever grateful for you.
Well, I'm glad. You're welcome. It's not really, I mean, I like you, Ariel. I think you're great. It's not, for me, it's not really personal. This is business, and it's in the best interest of me to go on your show. It's mutually beneficial, and I guess, yeah, I kind of do what I want. No one really tells me, I mean, besides my coaches, what to do. So if I want to talk to someone, I'm going to talk to them. There's not really, and I don't mean that in like a, look, I love Ali. We have a great relationship. It's nothing personal to anyone. I'm just going to do what I'm going to do.
No, I know. And I'm not trying to put you in an awkward spot. And just even for the record, I told you beforehand that I wanted to bring that up because it just means a lot. And I'm not going to harp on this anymore. The whole thing is ridiculous. It should end. He unblocked me. I don't know if that's a sign of good things to come. The thing couldn't be more dumb. So let's not harp on it anymore. I just wanted to get it off my chest.
I've been told that there's no drama from him. You've said there's no. This is just like one big drama.
What are we doing? Yeah, what do we do? What do we do? We need
have a romance.
We need to hug it out. Two Egyptians. We can hug it out over some hummus. Okay, so my dad from Alexandria, Egypt. I think he's from Alexandria too. In any event, I saw this stare down yesterday, Kayla. There's no way she's an inch taller than you. Was she wearing high heels? What was going on over there?
No, yeah, she was not wearing high heels. She's just a big girl.
How do we feel about that?
Big trees fall hard. I'm excited.
Talent-wise, is she one of the better strikers you would say that you have fought?
I think so. I think her striking's gotten even better. She looks sharp. She looks crisp. She's got a good record. She's everything I want in an opponent.
Okay. Did you even know who she was before this tournament?
Well, I was supposed to fight her in 2019 in the semifinals then, but she had to pull out because of a bad weight cut. So I actually ended up fighting the only girl she's lost to, Bobby Joe, who is also a 6 foot tall southpaw striker. So I feel like, yeah, I know her. I've been watching her. I've been prepared for this. I'm excited.
But let's be honest, there's a massive talent gap between you and the rest of that weight class. At this point, are you ready? Like, okay, let's get through these 2 fights. Not looking past anyone, but let's just get through this. And 2022 is going to be my real, test, my real coming out. Is that how you're feeling? Because you're an Olympian, for God's sakes. I mean, you want to be challenged.
I'm an Olympic champion, but no, the focus is what's in front of me. I think, of course, you have big dreams, you have big goals, you have things that you strive towards, but in order to get to where I want to go, I have to take each step, and this is another step along that path. So I'm not focused on next year, I'm not focused on the finals, I'm not focused on anything but Jenna right now.
Have they even tried to broach that topic with you? Or have you said we're not even talking about it next year, new contract, all that stuff?
Yeah, they reached out to Ali and said that they wanted to start negotiations, and then I said okay, and then they asked me today not to talk about free agency, just focus on the fight, and I said, well, okay, but send me an offer, or we all know what's going to happen. So.
And what's that?
They need to send me an offer. It's not in my hands. My job is to fight. That's it. I know that if I fight well, do my job, go out and instill my will, that good things will happen wherever they may be.
But you know that the good things happen if you're 12-0, right? Like, it's a big difference between 12-0 and 11-1. So do you feel any little extra added pressure in these last 2 fights?
No.
How are you so damn confident?
Have you ever been in an Olympic final?
Yeah.
Have you ever been in an Olympic race?
No, I have not.
I don't know if there's much more pressure than that. I'm sure and stuff is a lot of pressure, so maybe that, but I train very hard. I train hard, I work hard, I believe in myself. I have all of the keys to success.
All right, has the pressure in any of these fights, maybe the first fight that you ever had in MMA, maybe one fight has it at any point reached the level that you felt in the Olympics, or does this all kind of feel like cake to you?
I was pretty damn scared my first fight. My first fight was pretty intense, just because it's the unknown, it's the, what the hell am I doing? Why did I sign up for this? Oh my God. Pretty intense. But since then, I've kind of learned to control my nerves and calm the quiet, calm the storm. And no, I feel like a professional now. I feel like how I did in judo, I got to the point in judo where I was in so many finals, I was competing all the time, I was repeating this process over and over so that it became my normal. Being in a high pressure situation became my normal. Being in the finals with, everyone watching became my normal. And that's how I feel in fighting now. I feel like this is my normal.
Do you love MMA?
I do.
Why do you smile when you say that?
Because, it's just such a bizarre, my life is a very bizarre story where I didn't really ever expect to end up here. I always used to say that judo is my love, judo is my passion, and judo is my first love. It'll always be my first boyfriend, but MMA is my forever love. I don't know if I can quite describe it. It's there's something very, it speaks to the warrior in me or something, to go out there and to try and be the very best possible version of myself inside of a cage versus another human being. I don't know, there's something, maybe I was a gladiator in a past life or something, I'm not sure.
The reason why I asked that question is because when you did the press conference, I remember after your second gold medal, you weren't that into this thing. So, like, are you surprised at how much you love it?
I am. I'm pleasantly surprised by how I found my footing in MMA. I didn't really think it was going to be for me. There's a lot of trash talk. There's a lot of negativity. I feel like there's a lot of bad vibes that can be swirling around in here. It's also a little bit like the Wild Wild West, and there's money involved, so people get nasty and greedy, and it's just kind of like it can bring out the worst in people. But in my experience, I found it to bring out the best in me. I found the right place. I found the right coaches. I found the right crew. I found a home for myself and for the way I choose to live my life, and it's brought out the best in me.
So we have this weird thing with, we're a new operation here. We had 3 years off. I don't know if you know this. We're going to call you right back because our thing is about to end. I'm sorry for this. We will get you out when you need to get out, but I don't want to cut you off mid-sentence. So I think that they're going to reconnect with you here. If you could just go back. What do I tell Kayla, guys? I don't know what to say to her. This is a little embarrassing. What do I say to her? We're going to call you right back. I don't know how you call someone on Zoom, but we're going to reconnect with you, okay? We're just a little operation. This would never happen. No, I'm just joking. This is, if you only knew. I mean, remember the time that the phone numbers? Yeah, that wasn't fun. We're going to reconnect. We're going to reconnect here in a second with Kayla Harrison. Zoom is a new thing. When we did this show back in the day, there was no such thing as Zoom. It was a new thing that only really emerged in the last year and a half or so. Thanks to the pandemic, of course. I love her confidence. I love her fighting ability. I love her promos. I'm just going to tell it like it is. I root for Kayla Harrison, and maybe I'm biased because, hey, she helped me out, and I'm a human being. I'm not a robot here. I have feelings and emotions as well. And so when someone sticks their neck out for you, you want them to succeed as well. And this is new help. This is Helwani. This is independent. I have love for everyone. I mean, if Dana White wanted to sit right here, I would give him a hug, for God's sakes. I would kiss him on his forehead. I got love for everyone. Ali as well. Come on, let's hug it out. Life is too short for this nonsense. YOLO. Anyway, I think we're back with Kayla. She is joining us via Zoom. Okay, we're framing her up. My bad. Yes, I have love for everyone. There is no hate in this heart. There's no hate in this heart whatsoever. I mean, do I... No, there's no way. I'm just kidding. So that's tomorrow, by the way, on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Bellator on Friday, UFC on Saturday. So one of those rare weekends where we get three of the best promotions in the world, arguably the top three, competing in consecutive days. Back to Kayla, as we just had to take that little brief pause for station identification. I always wanted to say that. Hello, Kayla. Welcome back. Can I ask you about the Olympics?
About now.
Oh, I was just saying that I love everyone. If Ali came in here right now, I would say, you know what you did to me was pretty damn crappy over the last 2 years, but I still love you. All right, I still want to hug it out with you, even though you're saying you want to ban me because all love. It's right here, as Mazzagatti would do. Right there. It is. We're parents, Kayla. You and I, we're parents of multiple children. We don't have time for this nonsense. We don't have time to get in.
There's no time for drama, and I feel like you set a good example when you teach your kids to love your enemy or love your neighbor and let the past be the past. Forgiveness is a very powerful weapon. Yeah. It really is.
In fact, when I heard that Ali was in the hospital with COVID, I sent him a message and it never went through because apparently he blocked me on his phone. I mean, could you believe that? Okay. In any event, Kayla, Olympics, Tokyo, that was weird, right? I couldn't really get into it. It just felt there was something sterile and just sort of off about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm proud of our team, Team USA, but I think, it was a very different time. Definitely not anything like what I experienced, I'll say that much. Very different.
Did you talk to any of the Olympians? Are you in contact with any of them? And
Yeah, I mean, I have really good, one of my best friends competed in judo at the 52 kilo weight class. I didn't really talk to her about her experience, but I'm sure it was different from when she was in Rio.
Right. Did you miss when this was, this was your first one in 4 Olympics, right? Dating back to that you weren't a part of. Was there a party that's like, oh, I kind of missed that, or you're done? Like it was out of your system, all good?
Oh no, it's out of my system. I definitely had nostalgia. I went back and rewatched some of my Olympic matches and relived my glory days for a little bit there. But I'm very happy with my career. I'm satisfied with everything I was able to accomplish, and on to new mountains.
I promise you, friend to friend, that I'm not trying to stir the pot here by asking you this question, but I do think it's interesting. I just want to ask, it feels to me like you, when you think of the Olympics, you have fond memories, you're proud, you know, you look back with a smile on your face. And part of that is probably because you made history. 2 golds. Incredible, right? When the person that you've always been compared to in MMA, Ronda Rousey, speaks about the Olympics, there's a lot of venom talking about Team USA and the Olympics and what they left with and all that stuff. Do you think that is solely because she didn't win gold like you did, or do you think she has legitimate gripes?
Well, to be honest with you, at the end of the day, you know, when you compete at the Olympic Games, you do it for your country, you do it for the love of the sport, you do it for the desire to be the best in the world at what you do. You don't do it for fame, you don't do it for like any of those things. You do it for a gold medal that goes around your neck while you know, hear the national anthem and watch your flag being raised. So I understand why she's a little bit jaded. I understand, like, getting a $25,000 check and a pat on the back can be harsh, but you kind of, like, everyone knows, I don't know any rich Olympians, do you?
Only from after the fact, like from stuff that came afterwards, right? Yeah.
So, I mean, I think my mentality is just different. You know, I'm grateful for the opportunity. It gave me a life I never dreamed of. I'm also grateful to represent the greatest country in the world, and I got to do what I loved and win America's first gold medal. I mean, that's history. I'll be a part of history forever, no matter what.
And then you went back to back, which obviously had never been done before. And so I'm wondering, you know, like when this fight is announced, when any of your fights are announced, I don't see Kayla Harrison showing up on SportsCenter to announce her fight, but yet there's Clarissa Shields on SportsCenter to announce her fights. I mean, what's going on? You have the same amount of gold medals, you have more MMA fights. Why aren't you on SportsCenter to announce your fights? Right or wrong?
Are you just here to stir shit all day today?
I got your back, Kayla. I got your back. I'm saying what you maybe don't want to say. I could say this now, right? Am I wrong? Why aren't you on SportsCenter to announce your fights? It's an ESPN.
I think. I don't know.
Did that annoy you?
No, I mean, listen, first of all, when you get bitter and stuff about things like that, and when you think, oh, why not me? It should be me. I've done this, I've done that. Look at me. You kind of take your eyes off the prize. And I've seen it happen countless times. I've seen fighters make the mistake. I've seen people in my gym make the mistake of worrying about what somebody else is doing. It's just a waste of time. You know, I have a job to do. I'm not on SportsCenter. I'm not, you know, at the ESPYs. I'm not doing all these crazy things. But I'm in the gym. I'm working hard. I'm being a good mother. I'm doing what I love around people that I enjoy being around. And I'm keeping my head down. And I know that when the time comes and when it is my moment, and my moment will come, everyone will say, wow, damn, look at Kayla H. It's coming. I'm not in a hurry. Good things take time. It will be there. And also, like, I'm proud of Clarissa. I admire her as a human being, as a fighter. I think that strong women build strong women up, and I would never want to take away from anything she's accomplished. To me, that's amazing. Everything that she's done is amazing, and I have nothing but respect for her. Her journey is her journey. My journey is mine. We'll get to where we get to.
What'd you think of her debut?
I was a little, you know, she has holes. She has holes.
Expected?
I think they were expected. I think I was surprised a little bit. I think when I don't know, my mentality was just always to be as prepared as possible for whatever challenge I get myself into. So I was surprised she took the fight so quickly after transitioning to MMA. I expected her to train for a little bit longer. I think it's a very tough task to be boxing and doing MMA at the same time. I think she's going to have to devote a lot of time to her grappling game. if she wants to be one of the best in MMA. And I don't think she's going to have time to do that if she continues to box professionally. So that's my opinion.
So you think, in other words, like it would probably be best to pick a lane, right? Because boxing training doesn't necessarily help you for MMA.
Correct.
It actually could maybe like impede your progress, right?
I mean, obviously, doing martial arts is going to make you better at martial arts, but this isn't just boxing. It's martial arts. You know, it's a very different world when you step into that cage. Anything can happen. You know, it's interesting that like the lighting. I don't know if you can see yourself, but it's like going straight down the middle of your face here. I don't know. There's like it's not moving, and I like that it's not moving because it reminds me of like the lit up side is mom Kayla. The left side is the one dropping those promos on people. I mean, you have dropped some of the best promos. And you and Sean O'Connell are great because he asks you a question and you always give him the like, that was a really stupid question. I'm going to sort of, humor it, but I've got things to get off my chest. Right? Like you guys have a great dynamic there. I really enjoy it. Yeah. Man. I'm doing a superb job at what he's doing now, by the way. I love him as play-by-play. I think he's doing great. He does not get enough love in the world of sports, and we're just like the little train that could MMA, but this guy is a fighter going to play by play. It's not fighter going to analyst. That doesn't happen in other sports. Athlete going to play by play. So he deserves a lot of love. But is this all Dan Lambert? I mean, does he literally sit with you beforehand and say, this is what we need to do, or is this coming from the heart? What's going on? Am I giving him too much credit? Dan Lambert wishes he was as cool as me. Are you kidding me? I write Dan Lambert's promo. Oh, I love it. He had a good one recently. AEW. Did you see it? That was his Olympics, Ariel. That was his Olympics. That was his moment. He told, first of all, he was like rapid texting me, like, I'm going on at 9:30, like letting me know. He's like, you got to watch. Wait till you see this. And then he does this whole nerdy like spiel about all these wrestlers and this and that and Japanese and all the styles. Yeah, and blah, blah, blah. Yeah. I'm like, oh my God, this guy, this is his moment. And afterwards he told me, I actually was like, Dan, I'm happy for you. If you're happy, you are the biggest nerd I've ever met in my life, but I'm happy. And he was like, oh, you want to hear a funny story? And I was like, yeah, please tell me. So he starts talking about how Deva business? They prepared all of this, because wrestling isn't real. And how dare you? How dare you? There's kids watching this right now. Would you say that about Santa Claus? No. We prefer scripted. Okay, sorry. Wrestling is a performance. Thank you. Even better. He said I had to tell the guy that, I don't know, whoever hit him or whoever got in the ring with him, he said, can you do me a favor? And the guy's like, yeah, what's that? He's like, when you elbow me, I need you to really elbow me. Oh my God. What? And he's like, everyone at my gym will give me shit if you don't really give me the business. And I was like, oh my God. That is amazing. You are like a 50-year-old man getting in there, getting dropped by an elbow. Like, this is not good. I loved it. I love it. And I think he's coming back. He's going back on, yeah, and he's bringing some muscle. Wait, he said 2 champions. Are you one of them? I am not. You wouldn't be caught dead over there, right? He's not bringing in the real muscle. He's bringing in like the lesser. Okay. He's not bringing Colby, is he? I mean, that's. I don't think so. No, I know. I was just joking there. You don't like pro wrestling. If they ever came to you, would you consider it? They actually reached out to me after the 2016 Olympics. Really? Yeah. But at the time, it was like, there were 2 things that I really didn't like. Number one was I would have to be on the road for 4 days a week or something like that. Like, it's a lot of travel. And number 2, you're not in control of the script. Right. Big. So they would say if I was a good guy or a bad guy. And I said, I'll just be me. Yeah. And if you ask me... I'll fight for real. And if you ask me, you're a very good guy. Good gal, of course. A baby face. You stand up for what's right in the face of evil each and every week, Kayla. And you are doing incredible things. Jenna Fabian, Kayla Harrison, this Thursday night, tomorrow night on ESPN and ESPN Plus, the 4-1 Fabian from Australia going up against the 10-0 2-time Olympic... What's that? She's from New... Are you sure about that? Yes.
Fighting out of Australia. That's what it says here.
She trains at State Kickboxing in New Zealand.
Yeah, but where's she from? Like, I live in America, but I'm from Canada.
And she got mad when they said
Really?
she's not from.
Okay.
I'm just like, hey, I just want you to be a good journalist.
You know what? I appreciate that. You know what? New Zealand. Yeah. Look, I got false information here. I'm going to blame. I blame Greg Savage of the PFL for this faulty information.
I blame her for everything.
Thank you so much, Kayla. All the best. You can't wait for not only the fight, but the post-fight promo as well. And if you want to shout us out here on this program, we're just trying to get it off the ground on ESPN, no less. That would be pretty damn cool. It's called the MMA Hour, and don't you forget it. You were in studio right here not that long ago. Come on.
Just kidding. All right, Ariel. Have a great
Bye-bye.
day. Thank you.
Take care. There she is, Kayla Harrison joining us. She's very busy. She's got a lot of interviews lined up. And she is great. What more can you say about her? She is great. She returns to action tomorrow night on ESPN and ESPN Plus. Trying to see if there are any other names. Yeah. I won't say the website that had Jenna Fabian as an Australian. I'm not gonna throw them under the bus, but it appears as though she is a fighter from New Zealand. So my apologies to her for that. The stare down was, I mean, it was a pretty large discrepancy there in terms of height.
Is this
I'm looking forward to that. And of course, we have, like I said, Bellator on Friday, UFC on Saturday, and then the big one is SummerSlam, Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. I'm going to Las Vegas tomorrow for the first time since March 8th, 2020. Can't believe it. Covering SummerSlam. That's going to be a lot of fun. Main event for the UFC event is Kelvin Gastelum versus Jared Cannonier. Later in the program, 2 guests left, 2 massive names, Jorge Masvidal and George St. Pierre. Sandwiched in between there will be a little Ask Me Anything segment. I haven't come up with a better name than that. AMA, as the kids say on Reddit. I found a lot of good Reddit pages recently, a lot of them pertaining to MMA. There's one that I like a lot. It is very, very entertaining. Shout out to them if they know who they are. Shout out to them. I go there I'm a lurker. I'll be honest. I'm a lurker, but I enjoy what they put out very much. And so I did this little Ask Me Anything. Let me just send this. I think we need a new on my Substack page. And I got a lot of great questions, but I just kind of skimmed them, and in no particular order. Do I need to send the new link to George, or do they have him? Oh, okay. All right. We got Frank back there. Audio Frank does a great job. Whole new team, but actually a lot of familiar faces, so it's great. It's not like you have to reinvent the wheel and teach someone how to ride a bicycle again.
Nice day.
Again, I don't know how, but I've been told it's pretty easy once you jump on there. So anyway, on the Substack page, I asked people for questions, and there are a ton there, well over 100. So that's very exciting. I appreciate that, and a reminder that we're back. We're back on Monday and Wednesday. This is going to be the usual schedule every Monday and Wednesday. Way back in the AOL days, we used to do it Monday, Thursday. In fact, there's a very fun episode where Phil Baroni, the New York badass himself, co-hosted the show with me. And I think, my memory is maybe a little bit off here, but I actually think that Josh Barnett was on there. Am I crazy? It was definitely in the AOL days. Baroni was there. This couldn't have been later than 2010. And it was a wild time. We did that only for 6 months. I don't know why we stopped. Maybe Brian remembers why we stopped. But I'm very much looking forward to this new flow of Monday, Wednesday.
Take care.
Mainly because, like I said, on Monday, in case you missed it, like I don't have to load the deck for one show on Monday and then worry about, another show in 7 days. You have a few longer interviews on one show. You go back to the next show on Wednesday. If you can't get someone for Monday, you have the Wednesday option as well. And so that just makes for a much, much better booking experience, and I think a much better viewing experience for all of you. Less guests, longer interviews, in-depth chatter, but twice a week. Like, what do you do when you're done with the show on Tuesday? You got nothing else. I am here to save the day. You know, Seth Rollins is the Messiah of Monday nights. I'm the Messiah of Monday and Wednesday afternoons. Self-anointed. All right, so in a couple of seconds, we're going to be joined by George St. Pierre. I'm going to take some water here. Been talking a lot for the last hour and a half.
Easy teleport, Deva?
Been in the news as of late a little bit. There was some talk of him going up against Oscar De La Hoya in a boxing match that ended up being Oscar De La Hoya versus Vitor Belfort. Triller. Would have been fun. As the story goes, and I want to get the story from the man himself. Still under contract with the UFC, so couldn't do that. Although recently we saw Chad Mendes get the green light to go to Bare Knuckle FC. You know, they will do this. They'll pick their spots. A lot of this has to do with the class action lawsuit, so they can point and say, hey, look, you know, we let this guy go. We're not a monopoly. We let this guy go. We let this contract up. But it's all very strategic. George ain't getting that kind of love. Chad Mendes, you know, maybe there's not a lot of money to be made right now. All right, you could go out and do your thing. It's all very strategic. Like Conor ain't getting out of his contract to go do a boxing match. He'll co-promote, but he ain't going on his own. So it's like, oh yeah, Phil Davis, we'll let you go Benson Henderson. And they've done a phenomenal job of always knowing when to say when. If you look at the history, even recently with Pettis and McDonald, it's like always knowing when to say when. I mean, that's talent evaluation. That's good scouting, if you will, knowing where a guy is at. There have been very few. I can't even think, honestly, of one instance where they have let a fighter's contract run out, I should say. I'm putting myself on the spot here. And the fighter signed elsewhere. Dan Henderson? And enjoyed some success. Maybe he's the one. Trying to think. Maybe someone on Twitter can tell me, or maybe in the YouTube chats, but that could be a bit of a mess as well. But there have been very few few instances where someone's contract okay. All right.
Yes. And you are?
Someone's contract ran out, and they regretted it. So look, this is the way the sport is built. This is the way the sport is structured right now. It's a lot more like pro wrestling in the sense that, you know, you're tied to that contract and that promotion, as opposed to boxing where you can go around and around. And now we're seeing situations like Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva and Tito Ortiz enjoying some financial success. Vitor Belfort going over to boxing, as crazy as that sounds. I mean, that Triller event on September 11th, the top two fights, 3 out of the top 4 fighters of the card are MMA fighters. Anderson Silva, Tito Ortiz, and Vitor Belfort. It's a crazy thing. But that's the way the sport is. And so without further ado, let us go back to the Zoom machine and let us say hello to, in my opinion, the greatest MMA fighter of all time, the pride of Saint Isidore, Quebec, Canada, the man who won the middleweight title at Madison Square Garden, the longtime and greatest welterweight champion of all time, and I don't care what Kamaru Usman does in his career, he will never hold a candle to this man, George Rush St. Pierre. There he is. Look at this guy, the one and only George St. Pierre. George, salut! Comment ça va?
Bonjour. I'm doing fantastic yourself. You put the bar a little bit too high.
No.
Ariel.
You're too humble, George. You're too humble. You're the man. Where are you in Florida right now? I mean, is that weather in Montreal? It's beautiful over there. What's going on?
Man, I'm home in Montreal. That's Montreal here. That's where I am.
Well, it looks fantastic, that setup that you have over there. Thank you so much for doing this, George. Our first week back, it wouldn't be the same without you. You are a legend in your own right, and I think you're the greatest of all time. A lot going on that I want to ask you about. Yes, go ahead.
congratulations to get back on your show. It's a great way to promote fighters, promote their thing, and thank you for doing what you do.
Thank you, George. That means a lot to me. Okay, we thought for maybe a second there were some rumblings. Let's get right to it. No more dilly-dallying. That you were going to fight Oscar De La Hoya. What happened? Tell us the beginning. Tell us the whole story here. From the moment you were contacted about this to the moment that you realized it's not going to happen. What exactly happened?
So I was contacted by Triller to do a novelty fight against Oscar De La Hoya at 170 pounds. With big gloves. It would have been 14 or 12-ounce gloves. Eight rounds of 2 minutes. 2 minute the rounds. And I thought it would be a fun thing to do. My career as to prove that I'm the strongest man in the world in the sport of mixed martial art is done. I'm 40 years old. But to do something different, something that could be fun and very motivating for me. And plus, on top of that, a lot of money would have been given to charity against a legend in this sport as Oscar De La Hoya. I think I would have done it. I think not because I believe I'm a better boxer than Oscar De La Hoya was when he was in his prime, but I do now believe he probably have more mileage than I do. I'm in great shape. I'm younger. I used to compete at heavier weight class. I think it would be a fair fight that the fans would have want to watch. So because I'm retired of the sport of mixed martial art, but I'm still under contract with UFC. I needed to have the blessing of Dana White. I called Dana. I even called Lorenzo to try to convince Dana. Lorenzo liked the idea, but Dana did not want it. I know he hates Oscar, but I said to him, listen, I'm going to make Oscar look bad because I'm in great shape. I've been staying in great shape the whole time. And I'm going to do a full boxing training camp with Freddie Roach and his world champions there. So I'll be very well prepared. And he didn't like the idea that Triller take some of his fighters that he they took a lot of time to trying to promote them and make money out of them. That's the argument that he gave me.
Did you try, did you push back? Did you argue? Was it a debate? Did you give it the old college try? You really wanted this?
Yeah. Well, at first he says to me the reason why he did not want it's because he thought that Oscar would basically destroy me in a boxing match. And I had some good argument. I told him that I believe Oscar has more mileage than I do. He's no longer in his prime. I stayed busy the whole time. I'm still in great shape. I'm going to be very well prepared, and I'm taking this fight very seriously. If I do it, because it's my name, my image is attached to it, so I will do it 100%. And I told Dana, I said, if there's one MMA fighter that can go to boxing and make and look good in this situation, it would be me. Because we see what happened with Ben Askren and some of the other guys. And at first he refused. Then he thought about it, but he came back with the argument that now it's not because he thinks Oscar gonna win. He thinks it's because he doesn't like the fact that Triller take me and make money out of my back, even while I'm still under contract with UFC.
And so is that when you?
So what Dana says? Listen to this. Then he came back and he asked me if I wanted to fight Khabib. And I told Dana, I said, that's very strange. Why you didn't want to do the fight when we asked you a few years ago? Why is it now? And you know what I mean? He said, yeah, because Khabib was not retired and he was not the same guy that he was. Now it all makes sense. So I didn't want to, but I was curious to see what would have happened. So I said to him, I said, I'm going to think about it. And I wait. Turns out that then shortly after, I saw in the media people saying that now Khabib he doesn't want to fight me because I asked for the fight with Khabib. I never asked for the fight of Khabib. It's Dana White that probably went to Khabib and Ali Abdelaziz and tell them that George wanted to fight Khabib. We asked a long time ago, but I didn't ask again. I didn't beg for that fight again. We both retired and I'm good. So I believe the strategy behind it, because that's what I thought it was happening. Dana White had a lot of heat for not letting me fight from the media. So he asked me to fight Khabib because he was expecting a negative answer from me. So he would have had a good argument, a good reason saying to the media, George refused to fight for us, so I'm not going to let him fight for someone else. So that's for the reason I wait to see what happened. And that turns out that I was right, I believe. So the Khabib refused, but I didn't mean that I was going to say, yes, the promoter, that's how they do. They make money out of it. You know, promoter and a lot of manager, they have percentage of the money. So they make money out of fight. That's what they do. And we know Dana is probably the best promoter of all time in terms of how to promote a fight. So he probably went to Khabib's team and says, oh, George want to fight you, this fight gonna be blah blah blah, exciting, and try to make it happen, right? And it turns out that it didn't happen.
So in a way, you almost called his bluff. You say that you're sort of interested. What would have happened if Khabib said yes and then they came back to you and said, all right, he's in, let's go?
No, I didn't want it.
But do you even think that they would have? Do you think that they would have even explored it, or do you think they had no real interest in even making this fight?
If we both have said yes, I think they would have done it. If we both have said yes. However, Oh,
that's quite the cliffhanger right there. He paused right on me there. Okay, remember that thought. If we both had said yes, I need to remember that thought. I have a horrible memory now. I'm getting a little bit older. But we have to all remember that collectively. If we both had said, yeah, I mean, that's quite, in my mind, I actually blame myself for this moment right here now, because I was saying to myself, holy smokes, he's outside. The connection is fantastic. I mean, has there ever been better connection than that in the history of Zoom? He looks like he's in a phenomenal setting. I don't know if that's his backyard. I don't want to pry. But I'm from Montreal. You don't get weather like that all the time. It is August, so, it's a little bit different. And I was actually just thinking to myself right then and there, this is great connection. George St. Pierre, great connection. And then, of course, that happens. It didn't happen last. Did it happen last Monday? No, it didn't happen. So, we were bound for one. This is the beauty of live video. But very interesting stuff there. We're getting into it. He's explaining to us what happened, because I did hear afterwards about the whole, George now wants to fight Khabib. And this seemed, something was rotten there in the state of Denmark, because it seemed a little bit suspect to me that all of a sudden, the situation was, okay, all of a sudden now he wants to fight Khabib. This seems a little bit weird. So we're getting a bit of the background here. Now we're being told that perhaps his phone died on us. Hopefully it's not some other, factors getting involved here, because it's going straight to voicemail. Just our luck. But we'll get him. Don't worry, guys. We're going to get him. We're going to get him back. George probably has a lot of different devices. No problem. This is why we've got a bit of the pad time, as they say in the business, on the back end. So he's rocking the karate combat hat there, I do believe. He's been doing some work for them as a sensei, a seasoned sensei. Yeah, I just texted him, and the blue is not going through. So clearly his phone died on us, which is just amazing. He's probably plugging it in and getting back on track. This is why it's probably good that if I should send... now it went through. It just went through, delivered. So what's happening now is plugging it in. Everything jumps, when you replug in your phone after it dies, everything's like jumping out, blah, 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 scrambling. And then he's going to join us, like the mensch that he is. And by the way, at 3:30, we're going to be joined by Jorge Masvidal. He'll be our last guest of the day. Already have some guests, by the way, booked for next week, as we try to, get ahead of this thing. Of course, you can't get ahead of it too much, because you want to actually see how the fights play out. And next week's a big week as well. Jake Paul, Tyron Woodley. I don't know if you heard about that fight. That's Sunday night in Cleveland on Showtime. But there's also the Edson Barbosa Giga Chikadze fight. We've located George. I don't even remember what I said to myself. What was I lost it. You see? Can anyone remind me what I said? I don't even remember. He'll remember. It was something about Khabib. What did I say? What was the key word? I should have written it down. Such a failure. I remember it was something about Khabib, but now I forget. As the great Gus Johnson once said, these things happen when you're doing a live show via Zoom. But how great is this studio, right? I mean, look at this new addition right here. Shout out to the Blue Jays. Go back to the Zoom machine. You don't hear about me talking about the Blue Jays anymore. He's good or not? Not yet. Yes? No? I wasn't sure. Go. Yeah, he's good. All right, let's go back to the Zoom machine and say hello to George. Let me guess, George. Did it die? Did the phone die? What happened?
It did not die. There's, in Montreal, we normally don't have that problems, but apparently it eat up.
Oh,
it eat up.
no.
So, yeah, because I kept the phone there for too long, so the sun eat it up, and I was not in the shadow. The phone wasn't on the sun, under the sun.
Okay.
So it eat up and it turns off.
Okay, well, we're good now. Thank you for scrambling through that. You were saying about Khabib. Do you remember what you were talking about or no?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, go ahead. Continue.
So I catch Dana White's bluff. That's what happened. I think not that it was a bluff, but that the main reason why he wanted to do it was because of the heat that he received from the media, and the fact that also maybe he wanted to make an extra money, try a home run because he knew Khabib and I were retired.
So the last thing that you said, thank you to my friend Sean for this, you said, I think they would have done it if we both said yes, however, and that's when you cut out. So if you would have said yes and Khabib would have said yes, you actually think they would have been sincere in their attempt to make this fight happen?
I think so.
Okay.
I think so. It's for money.
Yeah.
The goal of a promoter is to make money, and I think they knew it was the last one. They would not have done it before because they thought they could have probably keep Khabib for more fight. They rather make less but more fight with him than one big fight and that's it. That's what I believe.
By the way, behind the scenes, I know you have a good relationship with Khabib and Ali as well. Did you talk to them and say, hey, what's going on here? Like, did you try to go behind the scenes and see what was going on, or did you kind of stay quiet?
No, I didn't talk to them. I'm a good relationship with Khabib and Ali. Ali, a long time ago, when I didn't have the money, we were training in New York. I was staying at his house in Brooklyn.
Wow.
In the same area where apparently Notorious B.I.G. was living.
Wow.
So I know Ali for a very long time. We go back a long time, but I didn't call him because I thought it was Dana that's trying to. I think Dana said something to them to try to make the fight happen, but I should probably have tell them the truth and say, by the way, if Dana call you, or because the way Dana approached me, he approached me saying that Khabib was waiting for an answer, so to speak. That's not how he said it to me, but he said it like the deal was already accepted on Khabib's side. So that's why I said I'm gonna wait and I'm gonna get back and give you an answer. That's why I thought it was strange, because I heard in media Khabib was saying there's no money in the world that can make me break my mother, the promise I made to my mother. And I think it's a very noble thing to be strong while most of people are driven by materialism.
Yeah.
I think it's something that it's a very noble thing. So that's why I thought it was strange. And I waited. I told Dana, I said, I'm going to wait and I'm going to get back to you and tell you an answer. So I was waiting to see how this thing will play out, and that's what happened.
So this idea of you boxing, was this something that was on your mind, or did Triller just come to you with this idea and then you started to think about it?
No, that was not something that was on my mind at all. It's just my favorite boxer in the world, number one, it's Sugar Ray Leonard. My second favorite boxer in the world is Oscar de la Hoya.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so if, let's say when I'm gonna get older, I can look back at my life and say, I was champion in mixed martial art and I had an opportunity to box against Oscar de la Hoya in a novelty fight. Plus also, you have to remember that the rules were different. The bigger gloves, smaller time, the round was shorter. So the risk of injury are very minimized. I mean, there's still a risk. It's a dangerous sport, but I would have described it as a hardcore sparring, not really as a real fight. So that's one of the reasons I would have done it.
You mentioned that there was a charity component. What was that all about?
Yeah, big money. When I talked to Mr. Khan and Oscar on the phone, because I was on the phone with them before, I said that because a lot of critics are given to these kinds of fight, you know, because now it's more about entertainment than to really know who's the best boxer in the world. And that's not why we were fighting for. There were not any title. We were fighting for purely for entertainment. And I thought that to prove to the audience that we don't take ourselves, I mean, it's a serious fight, but that we do it, we come out for a special event, for a novelty fight. I thought it would have been I suggest the idea that we should do it for charity as well, to give a big part of the benefit for money. And they like the idea.
Now there's this whole thing, as you just mentioned, about like, you know, the YouTubers, the boxing, the MMA fighters going. How do you feel like the Jake Paul fights and Logan Paul? You like this sort of thing? Tyron Woodley fighting him next week. Are you a fan of this or not your style?
No, I'm gonna watch it. I think there's room for it. There's room for wrestling. There's room for boxing. There's room for mixed martial art. There's room for entertainment. Now I think it's a new thing that is happening soon. And mark my word, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen. Soon we will see two celebrities going up against each other. Maybe two celebrities that has some kind of fallout going up against each other. And people will turn in.
Yes.
People will tune in to see, because the promotion of a fight is always driven by emotion. People are curious. They want to see what's happening. So that's why I think it's going. It happened. It's going so well for these kinds of entertainment. And I think I mean, UFC. It's all about who's the best, the strongest man in the world. But and normally boxing, like when you watch Deontay Wilder against Tyson Fury, it's to a legit title. But this is something different. It's a different kind of entertainment.
So now that the idea has been put in your head, and you've thought about it and you feel this way about it, at some point before you get to 50, before, you know, you'll always be in incredible shape. Do you want to have this boxing match? Like, now that it's actually been a thing proposed to you, is this something that you would like to do before your time is done?
Well, now the element of, I would say the element of surprise, I would say the thing has been stolen. I mean, it's not stolen, but I made a joke to Victor Belfort. Victor Belfort is my friend. I said to Victor, "Hey, you stole my fight. You stole my fight." But I'm very happy for him. He was able to do it, and I wish him the best of luck. And I'm gonna tune in to watch it, and I hope it's gonna be a good show.
But what about you? Do you want to have one of these fights?
Maybe. Let's say if Oscar. I mean, I'm cheering for Victor because Victor is a friend of mine, but it's something happened and maybe Oscar a win or something happened like that. Maybe I'll get Oscar after. We'll see. I mean, I'm still under contract for I think another year or two with UFC.
Okay.
But I'm not going nowhere. If the idea interests me. Still, when I'll be 42, 40, 41, 42, maybe I'll jump back in it.
So that's really interesting. You're not tied to them, even though you have fights left for life. At some point, the contract expires and you will be free, as you said, in a year or two to do your own thing.
Yes, exactly. It's a few years after I retire. Now I'm going to be free. And when I say free, I'm always going to be a competitor. You know, I might do some grappling tournament. But I think when it's done for a good cause, I always like to give certain amount of money for charity when something like that it's done, because my career, like I said, my serious career, I mean, it's always serious, but when I'm talking about legacy, title, it's done, you know. I will always try to show up 100% and fight to the best of my ability if I do something like this. But I'm aware that probably my best years are behind me. So you will not see me anymore competed for a mixed martial art title. You know, you might see me for a grappling event, a modified boxing rules event, something fun like this, that it's of course still dangerous to do. I might do it just for the kick of it.
correct me if I'm wrong. I know there's a lot of money being thrown around. They were probably offering you close to what you were making in the UFC to do this. Am I wrong?
No, not as much. No.
Okay.
I would have made, for example, in my last fight with Michael Bisping, I made a lot more money than what I would have made for Oscar De La Hoya, but still it would be still a lot of money for 8 rounds, 2-minute fight. It's a lot of money, you know, and it would have been against the legendary Oscar De La Hoya. So the experience, the money, if I count the pros and cons, it would have been worth it.
I don't know if you saw this, and no one is on your level, George. In my opinion, no one is close to you. But Chad Mendes was recently let out to go do bare knuckle. And so people said, oh, why was Chad allowed to do this and George wasn't? Did you see this?
No, I did not. I didn't know. But maybe his contract is different than mine.
Okay.
And maybe he's able to get free. You know, a lot of people have suggested to me to hire some lawyers and to go fight UFC for this, but I didn't want to do it. You know, I didn't want to spend time and money and energy to hire lawyers and to get into that sort of thing. I'm an happy man, you know. Yeah. If the opportunity presents itself again, maybe I'll do it. But I don't mind. It's not like when I was back in the day hungry and I went down on my knees and begged for the UFC Power World title against Matt Hughes. I'm not the same person anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm a very happy man right now.
God bless. You're wearing the I think that's a Karate Combat hat, right?
Oh yes, exactly.
Are they trying?
I didn't have time to comb my hair. I just got out of the pool. You know?
Look at that hair, George. Why are you hiding it? Oh my God, the hair is fantastic. Why are you hiding? Is that bleached, by the way, or is that your real hair color?
No, my real hair color is blonde, brownish.
Okay.
And I bleach it. It's silver.
You love it. You love it, right? You're happy with it?
Yeah, I like it. And, you know, I have a lot of audition to do nowadays for movies.
Yes.
So I have a big project coming up.
Oh.
And my advisors suggest me that it would be good for me to change my style a little bit because everybody knows me as GSP, you know, the MMA guy.
Right.
So it's important for me sometimes to change, you know, to change the way I look. And it helped me get the job done.
Any projects you can tell us about, or you're keeping them close to your vest?
Yeah, unfortunately, like a lot of these projects are confidential. But I had something that was supposed to happen in fall. Apparently, COVID is getting very bad in Los Angeles and California right now, so they're pushing back everything. And I was supposed to go to movie award this coming up weekend, and it's been delayed as well, unfortunately.
Well, the reason I asked you about the hat was I'm wondering, you know, you said grappling, this and that, if they were trying to get you to compete Karate Combat. I know you're just a sensei, but have they, you know, now that you're part of the team, like, hey, George, just one match, what do you think?
You know, I like Karate Combat, but it is very, very serious competition. You can get hurt very bad. So if I do something, it will be, I don't want to put it's always a risk because it's a full contact sport. And if I do something that I put my well-being into it, I want something that the rules minimize the risk of injury, you know? Because like I said, I'm an happy man right now. I don't fight for the same reason I used to fight back in the day. If I fight because I like the idea, it excites me and I can give money to charity, it will make me very happy. And it will make also the audience and the fans happy as well.
I just want to ask you about 3 fighters, and then I'll let you go, George. Thank you so much for the time. Always appreciate it. Did you see Anderson Silva's boxing match? And if so, how did that make you feel to see him look like that?
Bro, it was one of his best performances in life. I would say amongst the rest of his elite performance that he did in MMA. To me, the way he beat Cesar Chavez, it was incredible. And I was under the impression before the fight that he would not have Cesar Chavez would dominate him, you know, because of his boxing experience. Man, he took everybody by surprise. It was very inspiring to see him perform that way. It was very, very inspiring, and what a great ending for Anderson Silva right now. You know what I mean? I hope he becomes back into these kinds of fight. It will be something worth it, not only about money, but in terms of legacy, something that it will make him shine, make him look good, because he man, you check his last two performances against Uriah Hall. It was kind of disappointing. It was kind of sad, but what a way to come back. What a way to get back on top, man. That was amazing.
He's boxing Tito Ortiz next. Did you hear that?
I didn't know that. No way.
Yes, he's
Wow.
on that same card as Vitor and Oscar Triller.
Not in MMA.
In boxing.
Tito Ortiz.
Yeah.
I think it's a good fight, maybe for it could be a good fight for Anderson
Yes.
Silva, because he's more into his field of expertise.
What is your take on Rory McDonald? It appears like people are saying he doesn't have it anymore. You know, it's not the same guy. When you see him, he's your friend and training partner. When you see him, what do you think?
Yeah, unfortunately, I wasn't able to see Rory. He's in Florida, but I wait, and you never know what happened to fighters, why certain things affect their performance. You never know what happened. Maybe he's hiding an injury. Maybe things happen in his life. Maybe that night was simply just not one of his best nights.
Right.
It's hard to tell, but clearly, in my own opinion, I've seen Rory perform better before in the past, and I think he something might have affected his performance, but I can't tell what it is. I haven't spoke to him. I just wish him the best recovery, and hopefully he will come back and choose to do what is best for his life.
And I'd be remiss if I don't ask you about Conor McGregor. In your opinion, can he get back to the Conor McGregor of 2016 based on what you've seen from him lately?
He started off the fight very well, but then after you could see that Poirier was getting over him, and I think if he comes back, if I'm Conor McGregor, or maybe not Conor because he's a very proud fighter, if I'm his manager, I don't want my client to come back to fight the same guy again for the fourth time, because now it seems like Dustin has his number. He need to perhaps take another fight. Maybe I'm talking not as a fan, I'm talking about as Conor McGregor. I think he should come back and maybe fight Nate Diaz or someone else that has a different styles than Dustin Poirier, because styles make fight, and sometimes I have the feeling that now Dustin Poirier probably have his number right now, and Conor been out for a long time. He needs to get back in there, to spend more time in the octagon in order to find his own self, the way he moves and his ability. It seems like he might have lost some of his ability because due to his inactivity.
George, it's such an honor to have you on. Thank you so much. You're always so gracious. I love the way you are being respected in our hometown of Montreal. They built a statue for you. Yes, it looks a little bit like Barack Obama, but still, it's a statue for you, George. Who would have thought when you were a little kid being bullied in Saint-Isidore that they'd be building statues for you, right? I was actually just in Montreal. I wanted to go see it.
Exactly. Now my bully can watch it and be like, man, I beat that kid. I beat that guy when I was young.
It's
they
amazing.
can brag about it.
Absolutely.
They even made a burger on my name to one of the little outdoor restaurant. It's called Canton chez Bob. They made a cheeseburger that is actually pretty good. I'm kind of happy because I went there as an inspector. I didn't tell nobody. I went there to order it, and they were like, "Hey, you're George St. Pierre." I'm like, yes. I'm like, I'm coming to taste my burger. It has my name, so I want to see if it's good. And they were laughing. So it's actually pretty good.
What is in it? Is it just a cheeseburger, or is there something special in it?
Double meat portion, salad, tomato, chili pepper, mayo, relish, and mustard. It's actually pretty good.
Wow. I texted you when we were in Montreal. I was at one of your favorite restaurants and mine, Pigeon, in Monkland. I love that place. Everyone should check it out. One day I'd love to go there with you, but I'd also, one day, my dream, George, is to go with you. This is my dream, to go with you to the Orange Julep on DeCarry and have some spaghetti. And Arnold Allen. I was at the Orange Julep. I tweeted a picture of it when I was there a couple of weeks ago with my family. My kids love it, the drink. I love it too. And he said he eats the spaghetti and it gives him diarrhea. He said it's the worst food. And I said, I'm going to tell George that you said, are you crazy to speak of Orange Julep like that? He's crazy, right? He's wrong.
Nah, man. It maybe he's allergic to gluten or something like that. It's actually, their spaghetti is actually pretty good. Of everything they have in their menu, I recommend the spaghetti, the number one thing.
Okay, I don't know about that. I think the julep is the number one thing, but maybe for food,
maybe. But the spaghetti is actually pretty good. The juice and the spaghetti with it.
Right. All right, so that's my dream. We're going to make it happen. One of these days, George and I at the Orange Julep, an iconic location in Montreal. We're going to enjoy some spaghetti and we're going to enjoy some julep. George, thank you so much for the time. All the best to you. Much love, my friend. And I can't thank you enough when you come on. It always means a lot to me. The greatest of all time being on this show. I really, really appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Ariel, for having me. And sorry for the little problem that happened. Now I know that next time I do an interview, I'm not going to let my phone hang under the sun for too long. Sorry to you. Sorry to the audience.
No problem. We live and learn. The man himself, George St. Pierre of Montreal. What a guy. What a mensch. There will never be another. And it's always a great honor when he joins us on the show. Fascinating stuff there regarding the Triller fight and Oscar De La Hoya and Khabib. What a mensch. You know what the word mensch means? You look up the word mensch in the dictionary. You see that, man. Now, 20 or so minutes, we're going to be joined by Jorge Masvidal. Last guest of the day. I got to go to Las Vegas. SummerSlam. But I'm putting on my glasses like an old man. They're one second. They're very foggy. I think I've been touching them too much. These are my glasses, which really became a thing in my life because of all those Zoom shows that I was doing, which I hope to never do again. And you got to roll with the punches, but it's great to be in a studio. Look at this. I said to you guys that I did an Ask Me Anything on my Substack page. Ooh, look at this, 180. arielhelwani.substack.com. And so, without further ado, should I go from the bottom up? I feel like I should give props to the people who are there first. Oh, top first. It's a great page. arielhelwani.substack.com. I'm not trying to plug here, but let's go. I didn't read any of these. I skimmed here and there. I wanted to see if people were actually engaging. So let's go. 18 or so minutes of some questions. Who wants some? Who wants some? Who wants some? All right, here we go. This is from Dan B. Thank you very much. You were first one up. And so I will give you, I think if you like the questions, they move up. I don't know how this all works. I'm very new to it all, but this is going to be something that I'm going to be doing more of. My glasses keep pinching my ear here. All right. This is from Dan. I haven't read any of these. Just want to let you know. Given everything you put out there regarding the relationship with the UFC and Dana White. How about that? The first question. God bless you and yourself. Are you able to go report on site for live events, or is that not possible? This seems to be a thing that keeps coming up. It feels like this is revisionist history. It almost feels like people have skipped over 2016 to 2018. Remember, 2016, 199, the banning, lasted 48 hours. Cooler heads prevailed, all that stuff. You know the story. I was back. 2016, 2017, 2018. Then I went to ESPN and I was back as well. The reason I haven't been to an event since March of 2020 isn't because I'm banned. At least no one's told me I'm banned. The reason, and I don't know why I would be, 95% of the things I talk about are positive about the UFC. The reason is the pandemic. And yes, I did say many times, I'm ready to go back. I want to go back. But ESPN, look at my colleagues. They were very cautious. Now, some of them lived on the West Coast, Vegas, California. It was easier for them to drive or literally walk over there. I live on the East Coast, tougher. I was supposed to go to Glendale, but then the contract, and everything. And so it was just kind of the end, and we just let it, ride out. So to the best of my knowledge, all's good. I mean, of course, you know, they don't roll out the red carpet, but I don't need them to roll out the red carpet. You know, you just want to go cover the sport and